So to give a little more stability to the bridge while it's sitting on the ravine, see how that goes up, and this could use some reinforcement. So what I'm going to do is put up a couple strips on there as reinforcement. And that'll help the bridge stay up. Now I'm going over the lip a little bit. And that's fine. So it'll kind of look like that. And then the other one I'll turn over. That'll help with the stability while it's on the edge of the terrain. And there we go. So here we go. I've got my ravine laid out. So these are the pieces of the bridge. See, they just come right up. Now I'm not gonna, I could attach these to the ravine, but I'm actually not going to, because I can just lift these off and then I can have a ravine without the bridge. So I can reuse this ravine for something else. So basically I've got the drawbridge up, so you can just see the action. It'll go down and goes right across to the other bridge. So if the player characters can figure out a way to lower the drawbridge, or before they do that, you can have it up, and players have to figure out how to get across. So there we go. And now we'll move on. We've got everything constructed, so now we'll move on to the painting phase. Here's the ravine. I've got it all base painted black. And one option was I could have used the texture paint on this, but I think I'm just going to paint it by hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the some gray, and I've got a very large brush because I got a lot of area to cover. So I'll get my paint on there, and I'm just going to kind of dry brush it on. So you can see how that really pops out. All that texture we put on there with the glue gun just really pops out. This large brush really makes short work of this. As you can see, I've almost got all the, it's just taking me a few minutes to get to this point. So I've got all the edges grayed. And there we go. Got all that detail picked out and ready for the next step. Now I could kind of just leave this black in the center to signify that it's just a deep chasm, but I kind of want to give a little bit of effect. So I'm going to add some gray to that, and I'm going to water it down a bit. So what I'm kind of going to do is go along the inside edge and kind of make it look like shelves in the center. I'll do it on this side too. A little water. So what you're going for is kind of an ascending into the ravine, so we're getting that it would be deeper and deeper into the ravine. You could put a river down there, or I'm just going to make it dark, but you could add more detail if you want. So now I'm going to start using some black. Get it very wet. So you kind of want to make that start to, that gray just be very light, and that black will help. See how that's starting to, there's some gray in the ravine there, but it's black. It's kind of wet right now, so it's hard to see the total finished effect. And I'll add some more black to the center. Make it the darkest. And often while you're when you're letting one thing dry, you can work on something else. So while this dries, we will go to work on the bridge. So there we go. We will let this dry, and we'll work on the bridge. So we're getting kind of a 3D effect in the ravine, like it looks like you can see some of the sides going way down into the ravine. So we'll let that dry, and we'll work on the bridge now. Got my bridge sections here. I wanted the first part of the bridge to be like a stone stair, so I'm just going to use my gray paint, same I've been using for the other stuff, and I'm using a wide brush, and I'll just paint those stairs. You could also have done the stairs with the texture paint, but there's a reason I'm not, and I'll show you. So I've got those stairs done, and then I'll do these. So I got that done. And while those are drying, I'm going to paint the bridge brown. So I've got my brown, and I'm going to paint it on the bridge. I'm using a smaller brush. I've got the brown fairly wetted down because I want a lot of the black to peek through. And then I'll paint the bottom side also. You wouldn't have to do this, but I definitely want to get those supports that are popping out. Okay, got that. Now I got the longer piece of bridge. It's kind of a fine line between how much brown you get on the brush versus how much water. You want enough coloring so you actually get some coloring, but you want it to spread really easily. I'm also going to paint these wheels because these are going to be wood. So paint them a wood color. Now I want to paint the reverse of this bridge also because it's going to show up because the bridge is going to be a drawbridge. So make sure I get these. Alright, so I'll let those dry and then move on to the next step. Now with the stairs, I want to kind of differentiate them a little bit from the other stone. So I'm going to use a bluish gray and take my brush. The paint's fairly dry. And I'm just going to kind of dab the paint on the stair. So that gives some texture to that. And a little bit of a blue cast. And I'll put a little bit of regular gray on there. I'm gonna mix it up. So there I've got a little bit of variance in tone on the stairs. And I'll do the other stair and we'll move on to the next step. Now I've got the bridge here. And I'm going to add a little bit of a lighter brown to it. Just not too much. Just kind of gently go across the surface. I've wet that just a smidgen. And I'm going to get the other side, these little pieces here. The other side. That'll add a little bit of variance to the bridge there. And I'll do the bigger bridge and we'll be done with that. I'm going to add a little more detail to these stairs too, now that they've dried. I'm going to stipple on just a teeny bit of black. So you don't want to get too crazy with it, just barely touch. And that just adds some more texture. There you go, you can see that that's a little more texture on there. Now I'm going to add the highlight to the edges of the bridge, or the stairs, with my very light gray. So I'll just kind of pull it inward like that. It's just an easy way to do it. And there we go, kind of adds the highlight. I'm going to do just a touch on the stairs, a little bit of stipple. And there we go, those stairs are finished.